Hey gang, welcome to Mzansi DSA News. Today I would like to introduce you to Patricia Mashale. So this is an interview, it's a reaction video to an interview between Patricia Mashale and Biz News, right? Now, Patricia Mashale is a South African Police Services whistleblower who has been in hiding for the past 3 years. Now, the reason why I would like to introduce you, obviously, her information by now ought to have long caused a lot of heads to roll, including that of the president, Cyril Ramaphosa. But hey, I'll take you through the video, then let's talk in the comments down below, and I will interject from time to time. Let's dive in.
Police whistleblower Patricia Mashale is once again unable to leave a safe house that she has been using over the past 2 years. But she is with us now. Welcome, Patricia.
Thank you so much for having me this afternoon.
Patricia, tell us about the latest development. What has happened to you now?
The latest development, Chris, is that I received information on Saturday that there was a meeting between Tele and two crime intelligence generals whose names are known to me, and as well as other few people whom I exposed in my public platforms on Facebook, the corruption that I exposed. And I received a message from my reliable source. The source always gives me the information that they had a meeting to try and trace my location through you remember there was illegal spyware equipment that SAPS procured in China. And apparently there was also a Chinese national at a meeting who is going to assist them with the equipment because they don't know how the equipment, no one of them ever received any training on the equipment. So this gentleman is going to assist them with the equipment to try and locate me.
Patricia, what could be behind?
Can you guys imagine that? That SAPS has procured an illegal spyware using our tax money so that they are able, this was under Cele. Cele is no longer the Minister of Police, by the way, so he had no business meeting with the heads of intelligence and all that and still have a clout to have such a meeting with an intention of instructing them to locate Patricia, a whistleblower. Can you see how deeply rooted corruption in this country is? And of course, as the saying goes, that a rotten potato spoils the whole bag. It's true that most citizens in this country are honest and they are earning a living by honest means. However, the few that are corrupt to the core, which do not respect the law, have no regard for our ethics and morality, are the reasons why we are having multiple dimensional problems, precisely because there is no consequence management from the president downwards. Think about the Zondo report. What did the president do about it? No heads rolled. Who has been sent to jail? Which politician has been sent to jail? Agrizi came out publicly, blew a whistle. What did Agrizi get for blowing that whistle? He is the one who is in jail. This is the disdain that Ramaphosa's government has for whistleblowers and those who seek to live an ethical life. So what gave rise to now them coming out against Patricia? Listen.
Now,
I think the fact that I have been, remember the last time when I had an interview with you, I have exposed that military camps, and I never stopped because as I said, I'm a whistleblower, and even when there is corruption or crimes committed, I am going to, since I cannot report it to a police station or any police office, because they are still not acting on the information that I have been given them. I have given the information to the National Commissioner. I have proof that me and Professor Dahas had been given information to the National Commissioner. It never even acknowledged on the emails, on the WhatsApp messages, neither me or my complaints that or Mary's complaints that we sent to you. It never even acknowledged. So I decided that if that's the case, because remember, I'm complaining here about senior top officials in SAPS. I'm not just complaining about ordinary junior members. I'm complaining about top officials. So I decided that if that's the case and he's not interested to act on the information, then I'm going to expose it on my public platforms and I'm going to name the people who are implicated in this corruption. And I think I also named Cele in cases they were opened against Cele. The dockets are just somewhere. No one knows what happened to these dockets. These dockets are still active because no court has ever withdrawn these dockets against Cele. So Cele's name is also on my public platform. So I believe it's because of this public information and the people that I've been naming in this corruption. There's the reason why they want to silence me, because I'm getting information on a daily basis and I'm sharing information on a daily basis. Public, yeah.
Did you guys hear that? That Patricia is getting a lot of information that is from SAPS officials who are obviously honest and ethical and reporting their own issues that they are identifying wherever they may be working. But they don't have the chutzpah to go and report those things publicly because they will be subjected to the same thing that Patricia herself is. And so Patricia has taken it upon her shoulders to literally continue reporting those issues. Now, bear in mind that the ANC keeps on telling us about renewal, right? Now, Cele is no longer a minister, but Ramaphosa is doing absolutely nothing against Cele, who has been reported by a whistleblower. As a matter of fact, for those of you who may not know anything about Patricia, I would have you reminded that Patricia wrote a letter to Cyril Ramaphosa whilst Cele was still a minister, exposing information that he had given to Cele, which Cele has never acted on. Instead, Patricia was almost assassinated. She was followed on numerous occasions. She was almost killed. Hence, she's staying in the safe house, right? After giving information to Cele. So she then took upon herself to write this information to Cyril Ramaphosa. Now, we know that Ramaphosa received the information because, according to a few of the interviews she's done on this same channel, Biz News, she unveiled that Zizi Kodwa, who was a minister of, I think it was a minister of sports or something like that, confirmed. She literally, Zizi Kodwa wanted to, Zizi Kodwa came to Free State and met with Patricia and her husband to get some information which she wanted to give to the president. And Zizi Kodwa confirmed that he had relayed the information to the president. But the problem is, after all of these efforts by Patricia of risking her life, coming out of the safe house and being in the public domain to meet a minister, guess what happened? That's when the first warrant for her arrest was issued. The one that in the last interview with Chris is being the lady that is on the screen. In the last interview with Chris, she mentioned that she won in court. The very judgment that now they do not have access to. They won a judgment against the police. She was vindicated at last on the 1st of July, this very year, 2024, for the first time. Remember, Patricia had appeared in a court of law in chains after she had submitted her whistleblowing information to Cyril Ramaphosa. That's when her warrant for her arrest was issued for the first time. Are you following me? She only came out from the safe house to go to court, and then that's when she was vindicated. And now suddenly, the court judgment is nowhere to be seen. Can you imagine what is going on here? Guys, this is organized crime in high and visible places. It's clear we are being run by mafias in this country. It goes without saying that President Cyril Ramaphosa is playing for the wrong team. There's no way you can tell me that President Cyril Ramaphosa received all that information, which some of us are aware of fully. And I don't want to make this video very lengthy. So if you are interested, just simply Google her name, check the videos that Chris has done, a few videos with this lady. And I think I've only done one or two. This is the second one that I'm doing. So it's important for you to understand the background here. This woman has reported corruption that is taking place at SAPS. If SAPS is corrupt, good people, we are in serious trouble. That's why people like her needs to be protected. Literally protecting her is more of a strategic decision, to be honest with you, to safeguard the interest of the country. That is why I don't understand Ramaphosa's laissez-faire attitude on this matter. That led to Patricia, to a warrant for her arrest being issued, right? To protect his comrades. This is a sickness which you find in the African National Congress. You remember Vusi Pikoli? When Vusi Pikoli went after the head of the police at the time, who was arrested and subsequently was released on some illness, and then he died. I just forgot his name now. The gentleman was also a head of, the commissioner. I'll tell you his name just now. Jackie Silevi. That's the name of the guy. His name is Jackie Silevi. So I knew that if I said to you, I forgot, I will not remember. But if I say I'll tell you his name right now, it will come to my memory immediately. And that's exactly what has happened here. Nevertheless, the point though I'm making, it is important for us to make this go viral. It is important for us to pressurize the president. I'll tell you why the president needs to be pressurized here. Because he himself is not innocent of the Patricia matter. But most importantly, when you look at the comments on this video, the original video, you see a lot of white people asking a question, where is Ian Cameron? This should be discussed in the relevant committee in Parliament. Ian Cameron is aware of who Patricia Mashale is. Believe you me, he is. Why? Because this has been on Biz News more than 3 to 4 times. And Ian Cameron himself is interviewed on Biz News. And this has been in the public domain. He knows who Patricia Mashale is. Make no mistake about it. He just has no interest in it. This talks to what interests the people of the DA. Are they interested in the true justice, or are they interested in a skin deep related type of a justice? Okay? I have an opinion on the matter. This one, it's clear what's going on here. The DA has just taken an issue of Judge Hlophe, correctly so, in Parliament, right? But the issue of Judge Hlophe being a member of the JSC pales in comparison in terms of importance to what Patricia Mashale has reported. It doesn't matter whether Judge Hlophe sits or doesn't sit in the JSC. Why? Because he's a member of Parliament, right? Now, I haven't made a video on that deliberately because for me, I cannot imagine the folly that we should use a court's time pursuing a matter that we all know that is unconstitutional. There is no requirement in the Constitution that a judge who was impeached should not be a member of Parliament. Or a judge, yet there is a provision in the Constitution of what must happen to impeached presidents. You get the point? Which is why Msholozi was not impeached, instead he resigned. Because he was running away from the threat that the ANC was bringing, that look, we will actually assist in your impeachment, which is being proposed in Parliament. So he was smart enough to resign, because had he been impeached, he'll lose all the benefits, just the same way Mkhwebane did. But this is written in the Constitution, what happens to the president. But there is no such a clause in the Constitution as to what happens to impeached judges. There's no such a clause. So why is the DA taking this to court? Well, that's between them and their what we call supporters. To me, it makes absolutely no sense. What should be contested is that an impeached judge should never be a member of Parliament. Why are they not contesting? Because for me, that's a real issue. Whether Hlophe is a member of the JSC or not, I know I'm digressing, but this is very important. Whether he's a member of the JSC or not, it's neither here nor there. Why? All MPs write the laws that must be interpreted by judges. So how would you like to have a disgraced judge like Hlophe that has been impeached writing the laws of this country? Are you following me? Okay, now they are saying, no, we don't mind him writing the laws, we just don't want him interviewing judges. As though he is the one who's going to be making a decision of who should be the judge. No, he's not going to make the decision. Ramaphosa, who did not declare more than $4 million that was in his mattress, who is ethically impoverished to the nth degree, is the one that's going to be making this decision. And the DA is the party that voted that person into that office. Now, of course, I'm saying this to all the white people who think that the DA somehow has superior logic of some sort, or the DA somehow has people of integrity. No, Ian Cameron is fully aware of Mashale, but he doesn't care because she's not white. That's the reality. It's high time we face these truths and we deal with them. Okay? Because Ian Cameron has been everywhere concerning the issues that pertains to SAPS, and for some strange reason I have observed a pattern how he stayed out of Patricia Mashale's matter. As much as this thing has been given airtime, he completely doesn't even comment on it. Why? Why? Because to people like Ian Cameron and the DA members, justice is only justice as long as it is served for white people. When justice is not being served for black people, they don't care. They overlook that. Now, it took me a lot to get to this position. For me, this is my observation of what has been happening in our country. Other people are saying, the AfriForum, Mashale, please report this. These are white people. You can check it on the comments yourself. I'm not going to show you the comments on the original video. You can check it out yourself. Please report this to AfriForum. No, AfriForum is fully aware of this case. Yes, there's been instances where AfriForum, contrary to the DA, has taken matters that were brought to their attention, just like the Senzo Meyiwa's trial. Initially, the AfriForum are behind making sure that justice for Senzo was taken. So there, I have time for AfriForum. That perhaps that's the only people to whom Mashale should have taken this matter to, that will ensure that she is protected, she's whisked out of this country and be protected at taxpayers' money, because her life right now is not safe. But who unto the DA and whoever else believes that the DA is for all South Africans. AfriForum is an Afrikaans organization. But you know that what they believe and what they stand for, that they do not care about the skin color of the individual affected by that. For as long as it has been brought to their attention, they will attend to it, for as long as injustice is being served. There I agree 100%. But when you're talking about the DA that has voted a president of Phala into power, and when this matter was raised with them by their members whom they had gone into what do they call it? They didn't call it a coalition. The pact that they had, the Moonshot Pact, that's what they call it, the Moonshot Pact. When members of the Moonshot Pact asked the questions, even the politicians on the left in parliament, when the EFF raised the issue of Ramaphosa's impeachment, the DA didn't want to hear it. Why? Does it then mean the ethics of a Ramaphosa who did a trade in our country using a foreign currency as though we don't have our own currency, flouting all foreign laws, not declaring that money, and even allegedly paying the perpetrators of this crime in terms of stealing the money to disappear, not to report the matter to the police? Everything you know about Phala, does it then mean such an individual is fit to be the president now? Remember, the reason why Ramaphosa is the president is because the ANC in the 6th administration protected him in parliament when a former judge president said he has a prima facie case to answer to. The ANC used its majority. And the DA was we're going to take this to court, blah, 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 blah. And suddenly, Ramaphosa goes into a GNU with them and makes a promise to give them ministerial positions. They suddenly are now willing to ignore that. Have you considered how the DA is treating the issue of the Minister of Justice right now? The DA would have taken this matter to the highest court possible in the land. That minister would have long resigned if the DA was in the opposition party. Can you see that the DA is a fan? Can you see that to the DA, ethics are relative? Can you see that? I hope you guys can see it. Patricia Mashale's matter requires a political intervention because the principals of SAPS are politicians. Tele is a politician. And the principals of Hawks are politicians. And it requires a willing politician who has the ethics to send Tele to jail and to allow the Hawks to prosecute him because there is evidence. Patricia has furnished the evidence at sundry occasions. But what is happening, they are literally taking those dockets and they are dealing with them in a manner, in a corrupt manner, because they have got access to them and they've got their cronies still working for SAPS. So it's going to be, because corruption is embedded in SAPS, it's going to be very difficult to deal with this for as long as we have a corrupt person allegedly for a president. And I'm saying allegedly, but we all know what happened to Palapal. And it is my humble opinion that such a person should not be the president for our country. GNU or no GNU, Cyril Ramaphosa is not fit to be the president of this country. And right now, it is the DA. It's no longer the ANC. Remember, the ANC did not have the majority. It is the DA that has shown its true colors, that they have lied to their voters. They have lied to the South African public for everything they claim to stand for. They clearly are now no longer standing for it now that they've been given ministerial positions. Now, I hope the black middle class that is responsible for getting the DA 22%, because if the DA was only voted by white people, they will not even go beyond 10%, believe you me, in this country. They would not get 10% of the votes. Why am I saying this? Am I trying to rationalize our votes? No, I'm simply trying to be as objective and transparent about the state of the Democratic Alliance as it relates to how it affects us as citizens. Here is a citizen, a woman, staying in a safe house. Her life has been attempted more than 3 times. This story has been on the news, even in the mainstream media, and yet the DA has not bothered to take it and champion it to its logical conclusion for all the relevant parties who are affected and behind this to be exposed. The only conclusion a reasonably prudent person who is not corrupt like myself can get to is that the DA is somehow either they are complicit to this or justice to them is skin deep. I want to repeat that. Fellow South Africans, beware of people who practice politics like the DA. Now, for the first time, I have a correct, I believe, understanding of why a guy like Herman Mashaba is that angry with the DA. A guy like the, Minister Mackenzie is that angry against the DA. As a matter of fact, Minister Mackenzie has called the DA a bunch of hypocrites, right? And the Freedom Front plus Deputy President, Dr. Forgot his name now, but not the president, because both of them are doctors, the president and the deputy president. The deputy president has also voiced the same opinion about the ethics of the DA. So basically, the DA is an organization that has morals of a cat, that it changes its morality depending on what's in it for them. Are you following me? Think about what is at stake here. This woman's life can be ended at any point in time. Listen to this.
Patricia, I don't know how you keep going. You have suffered 3 years of persecution. And in July, you were finally acquitted of an apparently malicious charge. But now I understand that your lawyer can't get a copy of a judgment.
Remember, the judgment was delivered on the 30th of July, and we have been struggling since then to get the copy of the judgment from court. Our lawyers have been sent from pillar to post. There was some stage when they were told that the docket cannot be located. So since then, we are struggling to get the court. The lawyers cannot do anything without a judgment. They need a judgment to proceed with criminal cases against the implicated people.
How many of you still believe that Cyril Ramaphosa is not involved in this? Remember John met Peterson. What did she say on that leaked audio when she was talking to the now disgraced public protector? That you will not win in our courts if you go against Cyril. Cyril has the judiciary in his pocket. We keep on talking about state capture of Jacob Zuma. We need to be objective. We need to be very, very objective. Jacob Zuma has a lot of flaws, but so is Ramaphosa. Ramaphosa is not, in fact, Ramaphosa, in my personal opinion, is worse than Jacob Zuma and is much more dangerous to this country than Jacob Zuma. And in reality, Ramaphosa has lost this country more jobs than Jacob Zuma. And before you accuse me of being a Zumite, please go through my channel and understand perfectly that I'm not a Zuma fan, but I'm not going to lie on Ramaphosa simply because I don't like Zuma or I'm anti. No. It's not that I'm anti-Zuma either. This is very important for people to know. I'm not anti-Ramaphosa. I'm just pro-facts. I love the truth. I'm in love with the truth. I'm not anti-DA, but the DA is not a political organization to be trusted. These are chameleons that will do anything to achieve power. Okay? Now, unlike the liars that says the DA will bring back apartheid, I don't believe that. I don't believe that at all. But I do have a problem with how they look at justice. Why are they pursuing the issue of as unimportant? If they have so much money at their disposal, why is the Hlophe issue important to them and the whistleblower of such embedded corruption in our police force that affects ministers, commissioners, high and visible people in the structure of SAPS? This one they don't even want to touch. And this obviously goes to not only SAPS, it goes to almost to all our law enforcement agencies. And it includes the president, who was behind the issue of the warrant for this woman's arrest. Why is the DA quiet about it? That's why I went to town a few minutes ago talking about the DA. The DA is very, very dangerous. They are fully aware of what is going on here. Let's proceed.
Their judgment to proceed with civil litigation, and they need their judgment to proceed also with criminal cases against the prosecutor who are responsible for this malicious prosecution, because she was also defeating the ends of justice. And we received a message last week from a prosecutor at court saying that all prosecutors have been instructed to not handle all my dockets. My dockets will be handled directly by the DPP. My dockets is in the office of the DPP. So I believe the DPP is sitting with a judgment, and the DPP is refusing to hand over the judgment to my lawyer, because that is the instruction it was given to people at court to not handle my matters.
So who's the DPP? That's the Director of Public Prosecutions. That is Batohi. That woman reports directly to Cyril Ramaphosa. Are you people following what I'm saying to you? Open up your eyes. Please open up your eyes, I beseech thee.
Want something, I must write an email or a letter to the DPP. I did send this voice note from the prosecutor that was sent to my husband to Prof. Dahas, and she said she will take it up with not even the NPA, because the NPA, we've been complaining to the NPA since forever. There's an advocate, the court there, the NPA will keep on referring our complaints back to the very people that we are complaining about here in Prestate DPP. And even Professor Dahas this state, he replied in a very arrogant letter to her to say that she's not my legal representative. I must get a lawyer to communicate with them. Imagine lawyers cost money. So to get a simple judgment, I must now go and pay a lawyer to write them an application to get a judgment.
Patricia, since our last interview, have you been contacted by state security or by any senior police officers to make affidavits or to give them further information?
I have been contacted by state security. I will not mention the names because I don't want to jeopardize their investigation. But yes, I have been contacted by state security, and I did keep them my
And anybody from the Independent Investigative Directorate?
No.
IPIT?
I must know they've not contacted me. I have been in contact with them because all the complaints that I sent to the National Commissioner, I also submitted it to IPIT, and they at least acknowledge receipt, and I can see they forwarded the complaints to an investigation officer. That just today I received another acknowledgement to say that they received my complaints and they have appointed an investigation officer to investigate his complaints.
But now Professor Dahas has advised you not to meet with any police official or any state security official privately or in person, and that should any other affidavits be required from you, that they should get them through your lawyer.
Yes, because I was supposed to meet with two brigadiers regarding the complaint that Prof. Dahas sent to Parliament, and they just wanted
about your treatment,
about my treatment, yes, and they just wanted supporting affidavit from me because she's the complainant in that matter, and it's funny that they have to travel from Pretoria to get an affidavit. So Prof. Dahas sent them after we received that information that SAPS is trying to locate me. We decided that I'm not going to jeopardize my safety to meet with them regularly. So Prof. Dahas sent an email earlier to them to tell them that if they really need that affidavit, because I mean, all the evidence is in the file that she sent to Parliament. I also don't understand why is a supporting affidavit, because she is the complainant, and I already confirmed all the information on all my social media platforms and all the complaints that I already sent to people.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to end this video here. I don't really like making long videos, but I just wanted to introduce you to the status quo of our country. I wanted to introduce you to Patricia Mashale. I wanted you to see how corrupt is our police, how corrupt is the Democratic Alliance that always make claims publicly to be on this high horse, right? They are silent on this matter. Why? Because it affects the apple of their eye, Cyril Ramaphosa, directly. I'm sure you have heard enough, and if you have not, I will place the original video by Chris Stein and Patricia on the description below. Please check out the full video for yourself. Tell me what you think below. Would you encourage anybody that you know, or would you yourself become a whistleblower under the circumstances in which we face ourselves in South Africa? By the way, I'm passionate about the issues of this nature because I myself, in my career, was once suspended for 6 solid months for blowing a whistle of corrupt activities that were taking place. And subsequent to that 6 months, I suffered such occupational detriment. But that is a story that I had said to you, I would tell you, well, that is still in the future. So I can relate to what Patricia is feeling. But I think she has a brave heart. She needs to be encouraged. Those of us who pray, I would encourage you to pray for her, put her in your prayers. But this country is extremely evil. We need to know the malevolence which we are dealing with here. People keep on saying Cyril Ramaphosa, this, Cyril Ramaphosa, that, we are led, Matamela, this. No, we are being misled. First and foremost, Cyril Ramaphosa is a globalist. Those are Luciferians. Those people are extremely malevolent and extremely wicked. That is why we have lost the amount of jobs that we have under his presidency. That is why the economy is going the way that it is, nowhere fast. Okay? Now, nevertheless, tell me what you think about Patricia Mashale's predicament. It's a serious predicament. It's really a pity that she's still in South Africa, because it's clear. I mean, Christine, in this very interview, in fact, let me let you hear it. Let that be my parting shot. Listen to what Christine has to say here.
Well, I'm going to say something very chilling to you now. But I recently spoke to a police officer about your case, and he said to me that there were policemen taking bets on how you are going to die, whether it will be a natural death or in a car crash. I'm sure it's not the first time that you have heard that, Patricia.
No, it's not the first time. You know what? I also know that I'm not going to die in natural death, even when I die. But I want everyone to know, if I die unnatural death, that the police is responsible for it. I want everyone to know. I know. I don't. I just don't. You know what? Not knowing when is give me some kind of calm. But I know I'm going to be killed by the police.
You know, Patricia, every time I get a message from